because I'm showing my audience.
Okay. And start the timer.
3, 2, 1.
No, I need another question.
No, just joking.
Okay. Hello everyone, my name is Abby. First, I'll be doing an informative speech about tattoos. So, to start off, I will be talking about the origin of tattoos. The word tattoo is actually Tahitian. It means to mark something. And it is known that, well, they've recently found that they originated between 3370 BC and 3100 BC. And in the place of ink, they used soot and fireplace ash. I actually found out that Chinese cultures, ancient Chinese cultures, used to tattoo criminals' foreheads to state to the community that they shouldn't be trusted. It's pretty cool. Okay, and then so in today's culture, it's become more commonplace and widely more accepted, and has even become a part of some people's identity. So in this picture, I have someone is a neo-Nazi in the bottom left corner, obviously showing a lot about his opinion and who he is. And then above them is 3 men that were Holocaust survivors, and they have tattoos from when they were in their prison, or in the concentration camp. And then to the right of that is someone who had a mastectomy. Her full right breast was removed, and afterwards she has a tattoo covering her scar, which is pretty cool. And then I have a picture of Conor McGregor, just to show that, you know, tattoos don't always indicate success levels, because he's one of the most famous UFC fighters, and he has a lot of tattoos. Okay, and then so for ethnic distribution among tattoos, Italy, Sweden, and the USA have the highest amount of populations with tattoos, and Israel is the least with 25%. And women actually have more tattoos than men, or they're more common. Women are more common to have them. And then millennials actually don't hold the most. It's the population between U.S. population between 35 and 50 that have the most at 45% of them. Okay, and then this starts for the process of tattooing. I have just the process of tattoo guns. The gun will go through the first 2 layers of the skin and then place the ink below that, and that's how it stays inside. The reason why it doesn't just disappear after it goes in is because the pigment's actually too big for the white blood cells to consume, and so that's why it's permanent. Different techniques like stick and poke aren't as permanent because the pigment isn't as big, so that's a lot of the times why they're less or more temporary. And then I have a picture of someone who's getting a common tattoo with a tattoo gun. And then I have a picture of the tattoo pain scale. So the more common places are like legs and arms, and then the more painful areas are like genital region, armpit, and then like ribs. Okay, and then for the aftercare process, a lot of times if you don't take care of it after you have it done, they can become blurry, faded, and even parts of it missing the ink. And I did a lot of research on advice about how to take care of them afterwards, and I saw that kind of like the general consensus was just stay hydrated, avoid sun exposure, apply lotion regularly, and then listen to the advice of the tattooer. And then a lot of the tattoo advice was to avoid like oceans and pools, because the water, too much of the water can drag the ink out of the skin, damaging the appearance of it. And for the process of the typical like tattoo gun equipment, you're going to need the tattoo machine, disposable needles, gloves, ink, razor, Sharpie, and stencil. We more commonly use disposable needles just to avoid infections and stuff. And then the razor is for in case there's like hair in that region, so that way they have an easier, smoother surface. And the stencil is placed so that way the tattooer knows exactly where they're going, and that way the person can tell them where they want it exactly. Okay, and so as our tattooing process evolves, we are able to use cooler options, or well, not cooler, but more different things like glow-in-the-dark ink and white ink. They're definitely more different than the normal, but of course you can use that too. And then if you decide to get a tattoo and you don't like it or regret it, you have the option of removal. However, it's costly, takes a lot of time, and it's very painful, just like getting it. And you'll have to use the laser removal process. So the reason, as previously mentioned, the reason why tattoos stay is because the pigment is so big that the white blood cells can't remove it. So the laser removal has to break up that pigment so that way it can be consumed by the white blood cells. And in this picture, this person had it completely removed. However, that's definitely not the case for everyone. Even after all that time and everything, it might not even be completely removed. And yeah, so. And then so some of my afterthoughts are, no matter what the meaning is, what it is, everything like that, tattoos are costly, they're painful, potentially regretful, but I mean, they can also be the best thing that ever happened to you. So I and a lot of other people would say, give it a lot of time and thought, because it's on your body for the rest of your life, or not, depending. But also you have the option for laser removal. So there's that. Anyway, that was my speech. Thank you for listening to me. Yeah, okay.